Hey everybody, this is Syoori bringing you another Shoutcast for Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm. This time these guys are going to be playing on Cursed Hollow, and it's going to be another in-house developer show match. But it looks like both teams have started to zone into the matchup, so let's go ahead and introduce the blue team. We've got Illidan, Vala, Uther, Falstad, and Abathur coming out from the tunnels there. So a triple assassin composition. They also have that Abathur playing in the commander role. A very, very unique hero, and one that I'm excited to show you guys what he's all about. Meanwhile, over here on the red team, we've got more of a standard composition. We've got Tassadar, Tyrael, Nova, Nazeeba, and Raynor. I say standard because it's kind of what we're used to seeing in these VODs, that double assassin, specialist, warrior, and support hero. We'll see how it works out for them. We have heard that Tassadar can build a little bit more damage-oriented based on his talent trees, so we'll see what he ends up going this game. So these guys are going to be playing on Cursed Hollow. Now the objective of this map is to pick up random tributes that spawn throughout the map. Once your team collects 3 tributes, the Ravenlord will curse the enemy team and reduce all the health of all their minions down to 1, cut the tower hit points in half, and not allow the towers or forts to shoot. So a very, very big pushing advantage for whichever team picks up the tributes. And now Illidan with the symbiote, he is going to go all in on this Tassadar, taking a little bit of damage in the process. But Uther, oh my gosh, mistakenly uses his heal on Illidan. Is he going to pay for that? Getting a little bit of a heal there, but is he going to go down? Abathur symbiote on him with the shield, and that's going to be just barely enough to survive Raynor's penetrating shot. But it looks like he's going to heal up at the fountain and continue this engagement here in the mid lane. Tyrael and Falstad going at it there towards the bottom, but Illidan jumping in on Raynor with the Mark of Azzinoth on him, taking so much damage as Raynor, and now Falstad has turned his sights onto Raynor. Raynor has to get out of there. He is going to go ahead and back off, heal up at the fountain. Not sure if I agree necessarily with blue team strategy there for going for that 3-on-3 in the mid lane. You kind of want to go and get their lanes spread out so you can soak up as much experience as possible. Although, if you check out your minimap, they did have Abathur down there in the bottom lane, and Vala basically went straight for that top lane, as well as Nazeeba and Nova going down there to their respective lanes. So maybe not too much of a miscalculation there for either team. Uther and Illidan wanting to go in on Raynor, but he is going to penetrating shot them back and be just fine. Now taking a look down here in the bottom lane, we see Abathur. He's going to be down, sitting behind the safety of his towers, and he's going to be pretty much doing this in different lanes, but throughout the entire game. And he can do this because he can symbiote onto allies. Now we'll see that should be shortly here. There's Falstad. He's got the symbiote on him, and that's going to allow Abathur to piggyback on top of one of his allies, and it's going to give him access to 3 new abilities. He's going to gain a damaging skill shot, a damaging point-blank AoE shot, as well as being able to shield whichever ally he is symbioted on. He can do that basically across the map to any ally he wants. So he's going to be a big part of all these team fights while not actually physically being there. He can also spawn minions into his lane and deep tunnel around to anywhere on the map at his leisure. But he is a very squishy hero, so you're going to see him trying to stay in the range of the towers, behind the walls, things like that. Now our first tribute has spawned here. You can hear the Ravenlord there asking for tributes as it amuses him. So the first tribute has spawned though. Both teams are going to be rotating up here to try to pick up this first tribute. And Vala actually in a little bit of danger of getting picked off here. It looks like Raynor kind of went the wrong way there though, as Tassadar is the only one up doing damage to Vala. But here comes Raynor now doing a lot of damage. Vala in a lot of danger, but Illidan answers right back. Mark of Azzinoth on Raynor doing so much damage. And evening the health pools up for both teams. So this is going to be a pretty interesting engagement. Should see a first blood here, hopefully. Falstad coming in from the bottom, as well as Tyrael. Falstad narrowly avoiding that Tyrael damage, but now Nova coming out from Cloak picks up the kill there onto Falstad. So first blood in favor of the red team, and now Illidan in a lot of danger, but he is going to be just fine. Uther landing a nice stun there on Nova to secure the life of Illidan, but he is going to pay for that with his own life as Nova picks up a second kill. So 2 kills in favor of the red team. They also pick up the first tribute of the game. Uther trying to get a little bit of harassment there before finally succumbing to death. Not quite going to happen. And again, guys, I want to point out something really quickly. This is a VOD, as I said, so I'm not in control of the spectator camera. You're going to see some kind of wonky things go off as the anonymous Blizzard employee 553 was trying to showcase some of the features that they have in the spectator mode, such as changing the fog of war, changing the perspective, changing who you're following, things like that. So if it annoys you, don't blame me, and if you like it, then I did it. So we're going to jump back into this game, though. The teams, you're going to see this, they go and get the tribute, then they kind of rotate back to their lanes. You don't want to spend too much time outside of your lane because you're going to be forfeiting on that experience. And any team that wins the engagement at the tribute is going to be sitting in a lot better position. Uther taking a little bit of harassment here from Raynor and Tassadar, but Uther does have that Abathur symbiote on him, so he's going to be just fine. Another tribute, I should say, is spawning down here in the bottom lane. Nova is setting up for that, but Illidan and Falstad are there as well. Illidan down about half health, but he just rips through Nova. Oh my goodness. Before being forced to retreat as Tyrael has come into the fight, and now Nova getting a little bit of health back is going to re-engage this, and Illidan and Falstad are very dangerously low, but here comes Uther with some heals. Illidan and Falstad are all over Tyrael. They're going to try to pick up the kill here. Maybe not, though, as Tyrael Angelic flashes his way out of there. And Falstad, Illidan, and Uther are forced to retreat. Vala coming in a little bit late to this fight. Out of position. He's going to be forced to retreat right away. Uther trying to hover around there to see if he can harass these guys off of the tribute. I'm not sure that it's going to be a whole lot. The team's just not really in a good position to engage this. The red team has the dominant position, and they are going to pick up their second tribute. Uther getting caught up there, it looks like, by Nazeeba in a zombie wall, but again, guys, we're not in control of the spectator camera. Oh, here we go back up there. It looks like Uther made it out of there just fine, and Illidan, his buddy, came up there to support him and zone out the red team. So no big kills coming out from that little engagement, but a second tribute now for the red team. Blue team's got to do something to come back into this game. They're down 1 level and down 2 tributes. Now, if the red team can manage to get to level 10 well before the blue team, they're going to be at a huge advantage when it comes to that third tribute. And that's something I think that they definitely want to do. So they're trying to spread out their experience once again, trying to maximize the experience that they're getting. You see blue team just hit that level 8. Even things up, but the red team answers right back and hits level 9. So these guys are racing to level 10 right now, because by the time they hit level 10, that third tribute should have spawned, and we're going to see a pretty intense fight there if both teams are at level 10. Illidan and Vala, here comes the next tribute, but Illidan and Vala rotating up to that top lane. They might be going for a gank here. A bush gank on top of Nazeeba. He is just going to flop over. He is so squishy, especially with the power of those 2 assassins just on top of him. Illidan himself doing so much damage, and Vala respectable damage as well. So blue team may be in a good position to pick up this first tribute of theirs. Raynor now going to try to see if he can harass these guys off of it, but Vala and Falstad, again, that double assassin power just ripping through these guys, and blue team having some very good engagements here, and they're going to be able to rotate back to their lanes nicely and continue to soak up experience. They do not, however, have anybody in that bottom lane. Actually, as I speak, Abathur deep tunnels down there to continue to allow his team to soak up some experience. So both teams, again, still trying to vie for that level 10. We do see some mercenaries down here in the bottom lane, and I just want to point out real quickly that this is another difference that Heroes of the Storm has with other MOBAs. When you kill a mercenary camp, those mercenaries become your allies. They fight for your team and they push that lane. We do see both teams hitting level 10 here, so we're going to start to see some hero powers as Abathur cloned Falstad. You see that level 1 Falstad. That's actually Abathur controlling him. Jim Raynor taking a lot of damage, but here comes Hyperion to push this blue team out of there, and now Abathur's Falstad is getting stomped on here pretty quickly. He is going to go down, but it's not really too much of a concern. Illidan, though, coming in from downtown to pick up the kill on Raynor, just shadow stepping in. Mark of Azeroth is on Raynor, and he does so much damage. It is insane. Now maybe able to pick up a kill there onto Tassadar. Tassadar going to shield himself and just barely survive the onslaught that is Illidan the Betrayer. Nova doing a little bit of damage to Uther, but not going to be able to pick up a kill, I don't think. And now another tribute has spawned, the 4th tribute of the game here, and both teams are going to be really vying for control of this one. Blue team has to keep this one out of red team's hands, and they're actually in a pretty good position to do so. It's only Vala and Nazeeba up there, but here comes Falstad. You can check out on your minimap as Falstad rotates up there. Abathur is there as well to put the symbiote onto Vala. Vala's going to go ahead and try to zone out Nazeeba, and actually doing quite a bit of damage. He is going to pick up the kill there, but not before Nazeeba gets him in a zombie wall for Tassadar to maybe pick up a kill as well. Tassadar with a nice wall there. Oh, Vala just went the wrong way earlier on and pays for it with his life. Tassadar picking up the kill there with the assistance of the tower. And now Falstad in a little bit of trouble here as Nova and Raynor just putting the hatred on him. He falls down as he was trying to get over that wall using his passive ability to be able to fly over terrain. Very interesting hero as well as Falstad. He can spend mana to fly over terrain, and you'll see him utilize that a lot to gain a positional advantage. Really, really fun stuff to watch. Uther here in the mid lane getting caught by Nova, Tyrael, and Raynor. He is taking a lot of damage. Is he going to fall down? He's very low. The triple tap from Nova, though, is blocked by the gate in the mid lane. So Uther just barely escaping that with his life, but that mid lane gate is going to go down, and a nice push here for the red team. They've got a 4-man push. Not getting the maximum amount of experience that they can, though, so they are probably going to fall a little bit behind. They have to make this worthwhile as they try to take a tower here, but here comes Falstad. Hyperion is out from Raynor, but Falstad's going to answer right back with a heroic ability of his own. Vala as well, doing a lot of damage to Tyrael. They've got to be careful. Tyrael does not want to go down right now, and red team is going to be on the retreat, but now Nazeeba getting caught. Nice stun from Uther, and a Hungering Arrow from Vala is going to seal his doom. And Illidan teleporting in on top of Raynor. He just has Raynor's number. Raynor just taking so much damage while he's got that Mark of Azeroth on him. And Illidan securing yet another kill. The next tribute, the 5th tribute of the game, this one is the decisive factor for who's going to get the first curse of the game. And blue team in a commanding position to take this. They've got 2 members of the red team dead. And Illidan just going to maybe try to pick this up from under their noses. Tassadar doing a little bit of harassment to him. But I don't think Tassadar alone is going to be able to keep Illidan off of this. Coming in, and Illidan picks it up, so the first curse of the game is in favor of the blue team, and their actually lanes are pretty well pushed. They're sitting in a nice position to take a fort or two. Vala here in the mid lane, though, going down. Nicely done there by Tyrael, and Nova got caught a little bit out of position and paid for it with his life. But still, you look at the health of all the red team's minions. They're all down to about 1 hit point, maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure if that tooltip was exactly right, but a huge pushing advantage for these guys. And down in the bottom lane, you see Falstad and I believe it was Uther were able to pick up a fort down there. In that top lane, you can see the mob of minions there picking up the tower at the top lane as well. So 2 now forts for the blue team. Illidan on top of Nazeeba doing a lot of damage. Once again, Nazeeba's going to go ahead and bust out the Voodoo Doll to try to keep him off of him, but he's going to be taking so much damage that shield from Tassadar is just not enough. And Illidan actually picking up a double kill there. Nicely done by Illidan, and he is just a monster. Insane amounts of damage coming out from Illidan right now. And blue team is in a good position to pick up this mid fort as well. So maybe 3 forts now with that curse for the blue team. Looks like we may see, is that a Hyperion? No, that's the that's the damage radius of the fort there. But blue team going to stay in on this and just kind of tank these towers. There's the Hyperion coming out to push blue team off of it. Uther now getting triple tapped. There's no wall to save you this time, bud, and he is going to go down to Nova's damage. Hyperion doing a good job of pushing those minions off the fort there, but blue team can pretty much come in here at any time, I think, and take this fort if they want to. Illidan hears my voice, and he's going to just go right in on Raynor, doing so much damage. Raynor just dropping there to the damage. You can see Abathur cloned the Illidan and was able to just 2 Illidans is just way too much damage for this red team to handle. Falstad just hauling through and zoning out Nazeeba and Tyrael. Taking a lot of damage though, and Tyrael answers right back, comes in and teleports on top of him and picks up the kill there. Abathur's clone should go down here anytime, and Illidan actually, maybe his first death of the game, the Nazeeba Spider Pot doing a lot of damage to him and picks up the kill. So red team, you know, they dropped 3 forts, but they were able to pick up a couple of important kills there in the mid lane. Vala doing a good job here in the top lane of pushing. She is going to be very low on hit points and forced to retreat. Abathur symbioting her and somehow sees that Nova was coming. Maybe, I don't know if he saw it or he was just covering Vala there. But red team doing, right here, they're doing exactly what they need to be doing to come back into this game. You're down 3 forts. You've got to get some minions on your team. You've got to get some mercenaries, I should say, to join your minion waves and help push those lanes out. All their lanes are basically pushed right up to their inner forts, and they've got to start focusing on these mercenary camps. Avoid those team fights. It looks like blue team, though, if you check your mini-map up there towards the top lane, they're doing the same thing. Vala and Abathur, and I believe Uther up there, are going to try to pick up that mercenary camp for the blue team. You can see these siege minions. They're going to be doing a lot of work down here in the bottom lane. The tribute has spawned. It is spawning in the bottom lane there, so both teams going to be rotating over, hopefully. Actually, the red team getting caught up here a little bit by this minion wave that the blue team managed to grab. So the blue team might pick up this tribute completely uncontested. That'll be 4 tributes in a row for the blue team they were able to pick up. Red team just needs one, and they'll be able to answer back for that initial cursed fort push that the blue team had. This bottom lane is perfectly pushed up right now. If they would have gotten that tribute, it could have been doomed for that bottom lane. But they were not able to pick up the tribute, and now the blue team still sitting in a pretty commanding position. Red team looks like they're circling up like they want to fight here. Tyrael going all in on Vala. Vala taking so much damage. The ultimate from Falstad comes out, and it's going to be enough, though, to pick up the kill onto Uther and Vala. Looks like Illidan getting dangerously low here. He's going to get chased by Nova and Tyrael, and Falstad getting low as well. So a nice little team fight here. 2-0 for the red team. And as I speak, though, it looks like Illidan up there doing work on Tyrael and Nova before finally succumbing to the damage. So a 3 for 2 now in favor of the red team. They were sitting pretty on that fight, and they thought they could take Illidan down very quickly, but it looks like they weren't actually able to. But you see another tribute is spawning, and red team now, they're in a pretty good position to take this. No members of the blue team anywhere in sight, so Tassadar should be able to pick this up pretty much uncontested, and that's going to be a curse for the red team. The first curse of the game for these guys. But look at their lanes. They're all completely pushed up to their inner forts. Now these guys have to do something to push these lanes out, and very quickly, as the curse only lasts a minute. It seems like a long time in some respects, but if your lanes are pushed all the way up to your inner forts, it's going to take your minions a long time to get over to those forts, to the enemy forts. Falstad zipping through, trying to pick up the kill there onto Raynor. The heroic ability cloning Falstad from Abathur as well. So a nice little pusher in the mid lane for the blue team. They're going to try to keep this fort push from happening. 30 seconds, only about 30 seconds left on that curse. And we're going to see a little bit of team fight engaging here. Falstad, the Abathur Falstad just getting dropped there by Nova and Raynor. He doesn't really care though. He was just trying to buy his guys some time to get out of there. The symbiote on top of Falstad. He's got to be careful though. He's going to fall down here to Nova's triple tap. Nicely done there by Nova. Tyrael in a lot of danger though. He's got to be careful as Vala is ready to pick him off. But now the 5-man gang squad coming down onto Vala. But here comes Illidan again. They were not prepared. Illidan just jumping right on top of Raynor, picking up the quick kill there. He's going to be chasing after Tassadar, maybe seeing if he can pick up another kill there. We're going to follow Uther. No, there we go. Onto Illidan. He picks up the kill onto Tassadar. Nazeeba falling as well. Not quite sure where that happened, but Nazeeba went down. So 3 kills now to 1 in favor of the blue team. And these guys are going to be sitting on a very nice little push here. Big advantage. And they might actually be able to push these towers by themselves. You can see Vala. And another interesting thing about this game is a lot of abilities will actually do damage to structures. And that's something that classes like the Siege Tank and Nazeeba are great at. They're great at pushing lanes and doing a lot of damage. They're siege classes. So we'll see them try to push into these lanes. But Vala doing a respectable amount of damage as well as Illidan on these towers. They are going to actually maybe take this fort here. They're going to try to at least, without even having a curse. Just brute forcing their way onto that fort. Uther getting slowed here. Doing a little bit of damage is Nova. Tyrael jumping in on Vala. Doing quite a bit of damage as well with Raynor, and maybe Nova able to pick up the kill. Yeah, Nova picking up the kill there onto Vala. Hyperion comes out, but Falstad answers right back with his own heroic ability, which might cancel that out. The Voodoo Doll comes out, though. A nicely placed Voodoo Doll with the Tassadar wall is going to be enough to pick off Uther and chase down Falstad and Illidan, chase them out of that mid lane. Blue team was not quite able to pick up that middle fort. It actually looks like Raynor fell down back there as well. Uther the Ghost was able to pick up the kill there, so nicely done by him. Red team just trying to hold on to this game at all costs. They've got to get another curse going, and they might have a chance. But even then, that one curse that they had, they barely did any damage, I don't think, to that bottom and top fort. They've got to get these mercenary camps. This is exactly what they need to be doing. Again, getting these mercenary camps and controlling them, getting as many of these as they can to help push those lanes out, because again, their top lane is pushed right up to their fort. Their bottom lane is pushed right up to their fort without even the help of any blue team members, aside from maybe Abathur offering his assistance in those lanes, but really not doing a whole lot overall. And it looks like Illidan may want to get his team over here to do a grave golem. That would be huge, and that might actually be enough to end the game. Another tribute, though, spawning. Red team sitting in a good position to take this. They're going to hide in the bushes. maybe wait for the blue team to come get it. But blue team says, we don't care about that tribute. We're going to go for the Grave Golem. Even one tribute isn't going to make a difference right now, but this Grave Golem is going to make a huge difference if the blue team can pull this off. Red team picking up the tribute, and there goes down the Grave Golem. So blue team now has the Grave Golem on their side. Red team continuing to push into these mercenary camps in the bottom lane. They're completely ignoring their top lane. By now, they should be able to see the fact that the entire blue team is up there, and we might see a little bit of a base race here, but I gotta say, the red team is at a huge disadvantage. They should not be base racing these guys right now. The top lane inner fort is destroyed, leaving the other inner forts completely vulnerable from attack. And now there goes back the entire red team. They've got their own Grave Golem pushing there in the bottom lane, as well as those siege minions. So a nice little push here in the bottom lane, but maybe we'll get over to that team fight that's going on. The Voodoo Doll comes out. Uther is going to be the first to go down, it looks like, but he's going to ghost up and still be in this fight. Illidan ripping through this red team. No, that was a clone Uther that actually went down. My mistake. The real Uther, though, finally goes down. There we go. Illidan in a lot of trouble here, though, as he is taking quite a beating, but he is all over this fort. Raynor and Tyrael going down now as well. Tassadar in a lot of trouble. He's got to be careful. Vala now coming into the fight. Vala going to just rip through the last remaining heroes on the red team and secure the kill there with the Grave Golem on the fortress. Victory in favor of the blue team. GG. Well played to all teams involved. That was a lot of fun to watch, and we got to see some very interesting new heroes, new abilities, and a lot of fun to cast this game. I can't wait for it. Guys, that's going to do it for me for the Shoutcast. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and check me out over at twitch.tv/Syoori, youtube.com/MrSyoori, and twitter.com/MrSyoori. And also, obviously, go check out Blizz Heroes, youtube.com/Blizz Heroes, facebook.com/Blizz Heroes, twitter.com/Blizz Heroes, and the subreddit for Heroes of the Storm. Support the community, support the shoutcasting scene, support the game, ask questions, get involved. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this game grow. Oh, and also check out the Heroes of the Storm website, the main website. It's probably a good idea if you want to get any real information from them. But guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you liked it in the comments.